Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. 3 topics for today's video. The first one, Medvedev's statement and position could end the war whenever it's implemented. And Mr. Medvedev, the former president of the Russian Federation, says, we must hit the West. All right, well, we must hit the West. The West meaning the countries actually at war with Russia through the blood of Ukrainians. So that's the first topic we're going to discuss in this video. The second one has to do with the article, or actually 2 articles, where they tell us that the Russians again threaten the world with nuclear strikes. Well, that will end the war immediately. And I have 2 articles in which I will show you 2 articles on the subject of the Russians threatening again to use nuclear weapons. I will show you how the media spins actually the context. By the context that is there, they put it in such a way to reach a conclusion like, the Kremlin threatens you again with nuclear weapons. Well, actually, it's not like that, but we're going to discuss the second topic in a minute. And the third one, Russia does not give a shit about Trump's 50-day deadline. But media tries to portray it as Russia does give a fuck about it. And I will show you Russia doesn't give a fuck. All right, these are the 3 topics for this video. Let's start with the first one, with Medvedev, the most important one right here. I think he is the one who is allowed to tell everybody in the West that we always have this option to end the war. And you know it. And we're going to say it over and over again. And it's there. A lot of Russians like this option, I got to tell you this. Reuters. This is from July 17th, 2025. Russia must be ready to strike West if it escalates Ukraine war, Medvedev said. Well, question for Mr. Medvedev. You see, the word is escalates. Now, I'm here minding my own business, and someone comes and flicks me, pong, over my nose. That's a war, it's an escalation. Can I smack him? Now, I say, okay, I smack you back, and then you come and you poke me in the eye. That's an escalation from a flick to a poke. What do? Can I strike the West for the poke? It's an escalation. All right, I smack him. And then he comes and he slaps me. Now, that's definitely an escalation from a flick to a slap. So my point is, after what kind of escalation you're going to use these strikes on the enemies? When they're going to attack Moscow with nuclear weapons? Is that when you're going to do it? Is it when they're going to use, let's say, Tomahawk missiles to hit, let's say, Moscow? Will it be when, let's say, they're going to try to assassinate Putin? Will it be, when is the escalation? It's already very escalated. Those guys use airplanes, satellites for communications and targets. They have their generals planning operations. They even entered your country in Kursk. They have tanks. They have Patriot systems. They have HIMARS. They have armored vehicles. They have money. They have sanctions. After what kind of escalation are you going to do? Something that, in my assessment, should have been done. The first bullet was sent from any country to Ukraine. If Czech Republic would send a bullet to Ukraine, you're part of the deal. That's an escalation. Boom. The war would have been over after the Russians would have said, next one is a nuclear warhead on you, NATO. And NATO said, well, we're going to react. Okay. And then we're going to both die. I mean, these guys are escalating until when? Until when? At one point, the Russians will crack. Why? They don't have the same power as the other ones. Eventually they will crack. They will, or not, let's say not, but let's get the first that they will crack. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to lay down and die? Is that what you're going to do? Then you deserve that fate. Or you're going to say, God damn it, I die with my sword in my, whatever it's called, a sheath, whatever it's called, right? Remember, one of the worst ways to die as a samurai was with a sword still in your sheath. That was the worst one. You didn't even have time to get it out or die like a beggar. So is Russia going to die with its nuclear arsenal intact, unused? You don't use, it's like someone wants to kill your family and you're not going to use the pistol to stop that killing. You say, I'm not going to use the pistol, kill us all, rape us first and then kill us all. Is that what you're going to do? Then you deserve that fate. Sorry, but that's my point. So again, he is the most logical guy here. I know it sounds bad, but claims that Russia will attack NATO are rubbish, Medvedev said, and I agree with that. The West has for centuries tried to undermine Russia. I agree with that. If the West pushes further, Russia should be ready to strike. Well, you are, but are you going to do it? And pushes where? Like what? Kremlin. Medvedev is justified in his concerns over Europe, the Kremlin. So the Kremlin is okay with that. So former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said on Thursday that Russia has no plans to attack NATO or Europe, but if the West escalated the Ukraine war any further, then Moscow should respond, and, if necessary, launch preemptive strikes. I mean, in self-defense, Israel has been clearing the Middle East, so other people can have the same right. So, all right, I hope these guys are going to push until they're going to be smacked. And so far, they're not smacked. The West has no pain, zero. So why should they stop? Their buddies are making profits. That's all they matter. They don't care about the Ukrainians, the Russians. Don't get me wrong. Zero. They're like tools. I remember when I first got a job here, and I was working, in construction, and the owner told me when I became a superintendent of the jobs and all that, he said, well, think of these guys as the employees, the workers, because at that time I was inclined to be more left. And I cared for the employees because I came from that, work, and I said, well, now I'm a supervisor, I'm management, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think we are oppressing these guys. It's not fair. And, about their lives and so on. And the owner said, you know what, when I look at them as tools, like like electric screwdriver, if it breaks, you just toss it away, or you don't like it, you toss it away, and you buy a new one, you hire a new one. That's exactly what these guys are doing with Ukraine. When Ukraine is going to be gone, it's just a tool. It's going to be Romania next, or Poland, or they don't care. They're just tools. And if it doesn't hurt me, I'm not going to change anything. So I think they would have solved the problem a long time ago. Next issue. DPA International. Kremlin accuses Europe of militarism. Again, hints at nuclear option. Now, I read the article for you. I will put it, like always, in the description below. You can read it at your leisure. All right? And I'm going to show you how these guys are making, so, hints at nuclear option. All right? And what do they say? Remember, when someone paraphrases, at best, not uses direct quotations, that means he can give the spin. Now, if I interpret what someone said, but I'm not going to use the same words, not even a close paraphrase, all right? I'm going to make a spin or analyze what he said, but I'm not going to say what exactly he said. That means I'm giving you a spin right here. So what's going on over here? This DPA International would give you the direct quotation for something unimportant, but when they're going to have to tell you what's important with a nuclear threat, they will not give you a direct quotation. They will give you one word in quotation mark. I mean, I said many things that you can take them out of the context, use them as one word in quotation mark, and you create everything around the word I said, and create whatever spin and narrative you want. So that's exactly what these guys are doing. I'm going to show you. So the Kremlin has accused European countries of engaging in aggressive militarism and once again hinted at the potential use of the nuclear weapons by Russia. This is according to these guys. Remember, this is a statement. This is the first sentence, paragraph. This is what the author says. This is now what Kremlin says. And I'm going to show you what they say. European nations are spending vast sums of arms to fuel the war in Ukraine. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov charged on Wednesday. So this is again, the authors are saying that. Now you don't know if he says it exactly like that. That's his conclusion or her conclusion. And this is a direct quotation, and I like it. Of course, minus the translation from Russian. Of course, it is very hard to predict anything amid such an emotional state bordering on irrationality, which reigns on the European continent. Now, remember, this is the statement right here, aggressive and using, this is the like the thesis. And let's see how the evidence backs the thesis. Peskov also pointed out to Russia's recent revised nuclear doctrine, which states that, and I'm quoting, even inciting non-nuclear states to take hostile actions against Russia by nuclear powers constitute an act of aggression. So you see, the only thing is right here. This is the only word that Peskov was quoted as saying. Everything else is the interpretation and the spin of the authors. You're not going to see the same words quoted by DPA as they did in the previous problem. So the conclusion right here that they draw, or the thesis statement, is based on their inciting. All right? So this is what it is, my friends. But I have someone else who's more honest than these guys, which are these guys from Newsweek. Russia issues nuclear warning after Trump's weapons to Ukraine plan. But let's analyze what exactly he said. All right? Because he didn't come and say, as I would say, back the fuck off, I will drop a bomb on you. They don't say that. They say differently. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov reiterated that Russia's nuclear doctrine remains in effect. That means, yeah, doctrine remains in effect. On Wednesday, 2 days after President Donald Trump, if that would have happened 5 days, would you still connect them with one another? It doesn't mean that the doctrine, nuclear doctrine, was related to his statement. But they make the connection. By the way, I think the statement was made in connection with me when I was pedaling with my kayak. Make the connection. I know he's upset with me, Peskov, personally. I mean, they make the connection as a response. It was not a response. I tell you why. Because they're going to put the context, and you understand in the context how they span the reality. All right, so here it is. Why it matters, pakaraka, and let's find down here where they say. During a Wednesday press conference, Peskov was asked, right? Told a TASS reporter. So the TASS reporter asked, and I'm going to show you what he asked. Russia's nuclear doctrine remains in effect, and thus all its provisions continue to apply. All right, the response came after a reporter from the Russian state-owned news agency inquired about the status of the nuclear doctrine. All right, which among other measures establishes that an aggression against Russia or its allies by any non-nuclear state will, with the participation or support of a nuclear state, is considered as their joint attack. All right, you got it's just, hey, is that still in effect? Is that still in effect? And he says, Russia's nuclear doctrine remains in effect, and thus all its provisions continue to apply. And the title here was what? Again, hints at nuclear option. A reporter asked the question, and he answered yes. They didn't say, will you hit them? I mean, you can say, well, I mean, it's obvious, come on. Though. No, it's not obvious. In this kind of matter, it's not obvious. It's not like I tell you, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to meet you. And you're going to say, he's going to punch me in the face. Emil doesn't like me. Does it mean that? Could mean, but it could not. You draw the conclusion however you like to draw the conclusion. But I like to show you the context. A reporter asked, how about the doctrine? He answered, yes, it's still in effect, the doctrine. Not that we're going to hit the Americans and everybody else, which Medvedev says we should. All right, and that gets me to the third article, which again, I think shows the weaselness of these reporters, in this case from Associated Press. These people don't read their own news, or whatever they consider those to be. Here, Associated Press. This is from yesterday. Russia may hope to use Trump's 50-day window to wear down Ukraine, but gains seem unlikely. So, Associated Press wants you to believe that Russia is scared and cares about the Trump's 50-day window given by Professor Trump, And the student Russia hopes in those 50 days to complete the assignment that Professor Trump gave him. That means Trump has authority and power and control over Russia, because Russia is hope to use that window. I tell you this, Russia does not give a fuck about that window. So the Associated Press, whoever wrote this article, is either should be fired. Why? Because I'm going to show you, or is a weasel. And I think is the weasel, and it's not gonna be fired. Let me go back at the bottom of the article, because usually they give the name of the media operative. No, the bottom is right here, and I don't see who wrote this garbage. So why they don't care? This is an article right there from the 15th. So this article that was made by this operative, right, is from what? It's from the 16th. That's yesterday. 2 days ago, Russia already answered that window that they're afraid. Russia rejects Trump's demand for a Ukraine war ceasefire in 50 days as unacceptable. That means we don't accept it. Fuck off. And if you want more, I have two videos that I made here with a lot of articles in there. In this, Russia smacks Trump's ultimatum, and that explains what the Russians told these guys about the ultimatum, which is we don't give a shit. All right? Trump issues Putin's ultimatum, threatens Russia. Medvedev called it blah blah blah. Go and watch those if you want. If you don't, don't. You're a free person, do whatever you want. My point is this. This is how these guys shape opinion to the baboons. They did not threat. Medvedev said like this. For instance, we are right here. And we are kind of at, let's say you're a neighbor I don't like, and you don't like me. Then you come closer to me in a very sturdy pace. Maybe with your hand behind your back. And I tell you, Gigi, if you come closer, I'm going to defend myself, I'm going to fuck you up. Are you threatening me? No, Gigi, you take it however you want. I'm just telling you my next move if you act this way. So I'm just warning you. I'm giving you a pass. Believe me, if you come closer, I'm going to defend myself. That's what the Russian, and how am I going to defend myself? I'm going to show you my bazooka right here, ready for you. This is what Medvedev does. And can you blame him? Why? Because those guys are fighting me and my family with the other guys' blood. Why? Because they're too weasel and weak shirkers, avoid responsibility and accountability, but they're strong, to attack and fight me in the daylight, face to face. That's what it is. And the other guys, yeah, they're going to use the nuclear weapons. They should have issued a direct threat on the 27th of February 2022, if it were me. I would say, who helps Ukraine? I'm going to you up. That's what I would have done. But hey, I'm not in charge. I'm not that crazy, right? Or maybe I am. It doesn't really matter. That's why I should not be close to any position of power ever, because I might solve things. This war would have been ended in 2 weeks after NATO jumped full garbage in Ukraine. But hey, the Russians waited 3 years and a half, and even an escalation. What do you mean? This bothers me with Medvedev. If West escalates, to what point? To penetration 5,000 times? So you see a rape in progress, and you stay and saying, if it escalates, I'm going to intervene. Okay, he already ripped her clothes off. He already overpowered her. He already took her pants down. He already penetrated her. He already penetrated her 5 times. And you still wait to escalate. And she already penetrated, I don't know how sturdy he is, but let's say 100 times. How long are you going to wait for the escalation? Until what? He does it 5,000 times? Until what? He smacks her? He pulls her hair? I mean, isn't that enough that he went towards her and grabbed her? Is that enough of an escalation? So this garbage with Medvedev, on the other hand, I was like, I think that escalation point has already been 3 years at least late. You're 3 years late. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.